Judges, Part 1. When freedom without direction leads to cycles. Responsibility, drift, consequences, and restoration. After victory, what comes next? Joshua is gone. The land has been received. The battles have been fought. But a new challenge begins. How do people live when there is no central leader? The book of Judges answers this question, and it reveals something deeply human. When people lose direction, they begin to repeat cycles. What is the book of Judges? The book of Judges is not a story of steady progress. It is a pattern, a cycle that repeats. People drift away. Problems rise. They seek help. A leader, judge, rises. Restoration comes. Then the cycle begins again. This book is honest. It does not hide weakness. It shows what happens when freedom is not guided by principles. Judah defeats the Canaanites. Progress with responsibility. After Joshua, the tribe of Judah continues fighting. They move forward and defeat enemies. This shows something important. The mission did not end with one leader. Meaning today, responsibility does not end when leadership changes. Many people wait for someone else to lead. But growth continues when individuals take ownership. Progress requires personal responsibility. The conquest of Jerusalem. Partial victories. Judah fights for Jerusalem and gains ground. But not everything is fully secured. This introduces a theme. Partial victories. Meaning today, many people improve in some areas, but ignore others. Progress in work, but not in character. Growth in income, but not in discipline. Change in habits, but not in mindset. Partial progress can create future problems. What is left unfinished often returns later. The house of Joseph and Bethel. Strategy and opportunity. The house of Joseph approaches Bethel. They use strategy and gain access to the city. This shows that wisdom and planning matter. Meaning today, faith is not passive. It requires thinking, strategy, awareness, timing. Opportunities often open when preparation meets action. Unloyalty of Israel, the beginning of the cycle. Over time, the people begin to drift. They do not fully remove influences around them. They begin to mix values. Gradually, they lose direction. This is not sudden. It is slow. Meaning today, most people do not lose direction overnight. It happens through small compromises, ignoring what is right, accepting what should not be accepted, losing discipline little by little. Drift is quiet, but powerful. God raises judges, help in times of need. When problems rise, the people cry out, and leaders are raised, judges. These were not kings. They were individuals who stepped in to restore direction. Meaning today, in difficult times, guidance appears. A mentor, a leader, a lesson, a wake-up moment. Help often comes when people recognize their need for change. The cycle of Judges, a pattern for life. The pattern becomes clear. Success leads to comfort. Comfort leads to forgetfulness. Forgetfulness leads to poor decisions. Poor decisions lead to consequences. Consequences lead to reflection. Reflection leads to change. Then it repeats. Meaning today, this cycle still exists in individuals, in families, in societies. The goal is not to repeat the cycle, but to break it. What Judges, Part 1, teaches us today. This chapter gives strong lessons. Freedom requires responsibility. Progress must be complete, not partial. Strategy and wisdom matter. Drift happens gradually. Small compromises lead to bigger problems. Help appears when people seek change. Cycles can be broken with awareness. Final reflection. The real message of Judges. The book of Judges is not only about history, it is about patterns. It shows what happens when people live without consistent direction. But it also shows something hopeful. Even when people drift, there is always a path back. Perhaps the deepest lesson is this: the problem is not failure. The problem is repeating it without learning. And the question for today is, are we aware of the cycles in our lives? Because what is not recognized is often repeated, but what is understood can be changed. Subscribe to Sacred Voices of Faith, where faith is heard and hope is renewed.